We're going to start with McDonald's, which is the world's largest chain of hamburger fast food restaurants.
Look, a lot of people have written this one off because they say, well, you know, it's sort of industrialized food. Who would want to eat there? It's low quality type food. But they've morphed into the breakfast dining environment, and they've done extremely well in recent years. Look at the share price.
Market cap $124.8 billion US, a PE of 27, and a dividend yield here of 2.5%. Share price graph will give us a little bit of context, and there's that steep climb. Nesan.
Yeah, so, you know, as Paul has said, you know, this one has been in the back burner for a long time. But let's not forget that, you know, McDonald's is ubiquitous with fast food. You know, it's the biggest fast food operation in the world. When you think fast food, you're thinking McDonald's. I think what's happened recently is they've spent some time, you know, trying to understand how they can better deliver value to shareholders. You know, McDonald's, 85% of their business is through a franchise model, and the other 15% is held, you know, by corporate. Funnily enough, even though the bulk of the revenues come from corporate, the margins, the profit margins, 3/4 of the profit margins come from the 15% of franchisees. So they've decided now to franchise a lot of their stores, which I think the market was waiting for a long time. It'll deliver higher margins across the board, higher revenues, higher dividends. And I think that's why you see that.
Well, I want to ask you, is there anybody able to play catch up in the burger space to McDonald's?
I think so, although it's a big market, so there's plenty of space, it seems, for almost everyone. They're very big in Europe. They're very popular in Europe, even though people sort of have this sort of vaguely ambivalent feeling towards America and American culture. They remain extremely busy if you visit these European capitals.
Who's the next biggest player?
In hamburgers, the trend appears to be no one wants to go and take them on in the really big, broadly based space. It's more that people are going in the gourmet burger direction, and you'll see in a minute when we talk about Shake Shack. So the idea is not to try and compete with McDonald's. They're too big to be competed with. There are, of course, other offerings in the non-hamburger space from big global chains like Kentucky and others, Pizza Hut.
Well, before we leave McDonald's, can we call it hot or not?
I think it's hot. I think there's still
even at current levels. Remember, we're looking at a PE, what, about 28?
Yeah, it's a very high PE, but I think, you know, the impact of this, the strategy change into more franchise, and they've got, what, 38,000 restaurants throughout the, and still growing. So I think the opportunities are still there for McDonald's.
Paul, do you agree with Nesan? Hot?
Yeah, I think it's still hot, and I agree with him absolutely. The management team under Steve Easterbrook seems to have the mix right. They're doing the breakfasts and all of that stuff, and they remain a very popular destination, a popular community destination, even in urban areas where people go there to get the free Wi-Fi, to hang out with their buddies in the middle of the morning, all that sort of stuff. Yep, hot for me.